What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Anthony Davis, right? As you know, Anthony Davis is out again. Uh, and they say he's probably going to be out for a few weeks. And I mean, in my opinion, I think Anthony, I think he need to go ahead and retire. I think he's done. Because if you are a basketball team and you're trying to make a championship run, really it's not too much that Anthony Davis can do for you. He stays hurt. I just seen recently a post come across, right? And this post came across my and it says something about like the minutes that Anthony comparing the minutes for Anthony Davis to the minutes of what's the kid name? Cooper Flag. I want to see if I don't know if it's on this phone right here now, right? Oh, here it is. So, now these are the minutes that Anthony Davis has played as a Dallas Maverick. He has played 415 minutes as a Dallas Maverick. Cooper Flag just just got drafted and already has logged 441 minutes, more than Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis was there the year before him and got hurt. I think he played one game, didn't even finish that game and got hurt, right? And so, like Charles Barkley has been calling Anthony Davis street clothes for years. And Anthony Davis don't like that nickname. But I mean, it's true. I mean, this guy stay in street clothes more than he stays, than the uniform. So if you have Anthony Davis on your bench and you looking to like develop this kid Cooper Flag because you don't want all the pressure to fall on him as a rookie, then you got to have healthy veterans in there that can help his development, like Kyrie, Kyrie Irving. Hopefully he'll be able to come back and help because Cooper Flag, I think, is a very good basketball player. But if you don't want to ask too much of him as a rookie. Now, maybe if you do ask, him to step it up, he might step it up, and that'll be cool. But it'll be even better, I think, if he could play with these guys and be able to develop his talent. Now, people are talking about, well, should the Mavericks move off of Anthony Davis, right? Which I think so, but like, what can you give for him? Number one, and then who's going to want him? Like, is he going to be a draw somewhere else? When somebody say, well, all right, well, we can get Anthony Davis and then we can build around him. I mean, it's you can't build around somebody who stay hurt the majority of the time. I don't know, man. I just think that this guy, just like I said, it's always he just stays on his injury reserve list, man, and can't stay healthy. And I think if you spending money and you want to invest in a player, this not the way to go. You never, as an investor, as a team owner, you always gonna come up short with Anthony Davis. And so people are saying, well, let him stay out this time and make sure he was, to make sure he's really good. And I'm not even sure like what injury he have, right? But he missed a good part of last season. Then on top of that, so he had all off season to rest. And now they're saying, well, make sure he's good. It's just no use. It's no use. Basically, in my opinion, at this time, all Anthony Davis is doing is just stealing money. He's just stealing money because he's not going to be able to play. I don't even think he's going to be able to play 60 or 50 or 60 games in the season without getting hurt. And so you can't really get anything for him because like I said, because of his injury record. He's injury prone and has been like that all throughout his career. And everybody knows that as you get older, it's not like like it's even more difficult for you to heal up. And so that's to me, I just think it's over with for Anthony Davis. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of interest, and definitely not interest from teams that have a chance to challenge. You know, I don't think he definitely not going to be able to go somewhere where a team be like, all right, we can challenge. We're going to make a run at the playoffs. We're going to take a run at going to the championship. That's just not. He hasn't done that anyway. He's been at. They did get that championship when he was with the Lakers. They got that bubble championship. But other than that, man, Anthony Davis has been, a big letdown and a big disappointment. And I'm not saying that injuries, like it's his fault, right? But and even though it's not his fault that he is, injury prone, that don't mean that, like you should still invest in him as a player because he can't get the job done. If he can't get the job done, then it would be foolish, in my opinion, to think that, like all of a sudden, I don't know how many years he's been in the league, but all of a sudden he's gonna get better. He's gonna get some rest, he's gonna get better, then he's gonna be able to, help us run at a championship. I think if he come back, whenever he come back this season, hopefully he be able to stay healthy. The more minutes that he logged with this kid, Cooper Flag, take some of the pressure off of Cooper Flag and just allow, this kid to develop. That would be in my opinion, that's the ideal situation. You want him and Kyrie Irving to be in there so they can, like I said, help the development. But I don't think the Dallas Mavericks going nowhere. I was hoping that he would be able to stay healthy, but this guy, he hurt already early in the season. I think what we probably less than 15 games, we might be around 15 games into the season. And this guy hurt, he hurt already and missing, going to miss, I think they say like a 5 to 7 games or something like that, which leads me to believe that it's probably not a real serious injury, more so of a nagging type injury, and that's a nagging injury don't make me feel any more confident about the situation either because like, all right, you had all off season off and now you got another little nagging injury. I think it's, like I said, I think it's over with for this guy, for Anthony Davis, man, because he's not going to be able to stay healthy. And then on top of that, it just seems like he's not taking like hard some of the it's not like somebody knock him to the floor real hard or he twists his knee in some type of awkward position or something like that. It's just and it's like non-contact type injuries that this guy is suffering from, which means what? Non-contact type injuries, not just non-contact, sometimes it'll be contact, but for the most part it's non-contact, right? And when you have a non-contact type injury, then that means that pretty much he just pretty much brittle. Basically, that's all I can say is this guy is brittle, and his body cannot withstand the the punishment that it takes to be a professional, like a professional basketball player. His body is just not built for that. And man, so now I know this. I know the Dallas Mavericks probably disappointed because he got hurt, and that's probably a big part of the reason why Nico is not there. I forgot his last name, but I don't think, and again, I don't think that was a bad trade because it put you in a position where as though you could have got you getting Cooper, you getting Cooper Flag. So that wasn't a bad trade, But anybody else from here on out who takes on Anthony Davis, I just think it'll be foolish, man. I do. When he's healthy, yeah, he can be top 15. In my opinion, he's probably a top 15 player in the league when he's healthy. But how often is he healthy? So yeah, I think he's over with. I think it's done. And that's my take on it, man. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.